The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Tuesday, the 19th day of November, 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamel Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with you in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I think, what's the countdown? We're almost to the end of 2024 already. We're getting there. Very, very, very close to the end of the year. How's everybody feeling about that? You all ready? Like you happy? Do you think that you've had a good 2024? Like, how are you feeling about that? Let us know. David Michael Wilson says, top of a terrific Tuesday. All make it the day you deserve. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, good morning, TDHM, and good morning to you, cousin Mark. And thank you, David. Michael Wilson says 42 days left. 42 days left. Interesting. All right. Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today. We're going to be discussing tourism today. We're going to be discussing basically, what advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? What advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? The daily play is going to be a remember when. All right, a remember when. So, little history for you all. See if you see how many of you guys are tuned in. See how many of you all got it. Don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Let's jump into today's question. Good morning. It's been a ride, says someone over on LinkedIn regarding 2024. So here's the question of the morning. Let's get right to it. What advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? What advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? That's the question this morning. What advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? But also, here's another one. This is an interesting one. Do you believe Bermuda can still be a viable tourist destination in 2024? Yes or no? Yes or no? Bermudians have been privileged. Many of us have been privileged to be able to travel to, obviously internationally. Can't take a plane elsewhere within Bermuda. But would you consider Bermuda, still a viable tourist destination, a place that people can still visit for tourist reasons, for various reasons? But yes or no? Do you believe Bermuda can still be a viable tourist destination? Yes or no? Just a yes or no to that question. Do you believe Bermuda can still be a viable tourism destination? Mark Arthur C. Phillips, he says yes. Okay, he says yes. Nicole Hassel says to advertise outside of the USA is the advice she would give. That's regarding what advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda. And Nicole Hassel says to advertise outside of the USA. I would love to see other nationals visit Bermuda. What does that look like? And when you say outside the USA, who are we talking about? Are we talking about South Americans? And, having lived in South Florida, South Americans really, they drive tourism in Florida. Brazil, Argentina, they travel in droves coming out there. Some just to shop based on the amount of malls down there. Sawgrass and is it Dolphin Mall? I've never been to Dolphin Mall, but I've heard of it. Aventura and the like. But yeah, what when you say that, Nicole Hassel, what other nationals? Because we got to keep in mind Bermuda only has direct flights to 3 different countries, being the U.S., Canada, and England. All right. Do you believe Bermuda can still be a viable tourist destination? Yes or no? Do you believe Bermuda can still be a viable tourist destination? Yes or no? We've got Shika Rana says yes. Okay. Sean Smith says yes. Okay. LinkedIn user says long answer. It has potential to reach other markets and cater to. So yes. Okay. Nicole Hassel says yes. All right. So everyone says yes. No one has said no. So for the most part, we all believe that Bermuda can be is still a viable tourist destination. Cherie Dill says definitely. All right, definitely. Michelle White says yes. Suzanne Ingham says yes. It's interesting because my answer was yes, but I thought the majority of you would have said no. Look at me projecting and getting it all wrong, assuming. You know what they say about when you assume, right? You know what they say about assuming. Well, I just assumed that most of you would have said no, and not one person has said no yet. But I'll tell you why I believe Bermuda is still a viable tourist destination. I think tourism has evolved, right? Tourism was once a thing where it was all kind of like in a Bermuda context as well about beach and sunshine, right? There's so much more to tourism these days, right? There's history, there's culture, there's cuisine, right? Um, there's religion. There's so much more than just beach and spa and, there's sports. Tourism, there's medical tourism. There's so many different pockets. Bermuda doesn't necessarily have to sell itself as a beach destination. There are other things we can look at doing. So, do I believe it's still a viable destination? Yeah. And for those who say Bermuda has no nightlife and it's boring, that's not a bad thing. There are some people who want to travel to quiet places just to do nothing. There are people who legit want to just do nothing. I mean, I'm not like that anymore. I mean, I don't know. At my old age, I've become more adventurous. But there's a pocket in there. There's an opportunity for Bermuda to be a viable tourist destination. And to some, that's boring. But boring means different things to different people. My point is, we don't have to have nightlife. We don't have to have sunshine and the best beaches. We have to understand that times have changed, right? And as other destinations have developed, certain spaces have become harder. So, as we in life, as humans, as individuals, as we get older, we may change our diets, exercise habits, right? Jobs. So does a competitive industry like tourism. So I think with Bermuda, with the question, what advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? Um, I'll use what one of my mentors and friends always says to me: find your why. I think Bermuda needs to find its why as a destination. I would tell the government, find your why. What is Bermuda's why? Why should people come to visit Bermuda? That's what I think we need to focus on first. What advice would you give to the government, folks, to grow tourism in Bermuda? What advice would you give to grow? Youngles for Life over on Instagram, he said, we have to take some of the brakes off. And I think what he means is the red tape. We have to take some of the brakes off. Michelle White says, we must meet people where they are and what they want out of getting away. Yes, absolutely, Michelle. Absolutely. We've got to meet people where they are. we have to figure out the why. When we figure out the why, we then focus on the people who connect with our why, right? So are these people, I know Nicole Hassel said earlier, people from other destinations, other jurisdictions, other nationals outside of the USA. Where are these people? What jurisdictions are we talking about? What nationals are we speaking of? What else, audience? What advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? I just came from Kenya, right? I heard something interesting while I was there. So I know poaching used to be a big thing at safaris, right, in wildlife and across Africa. But now it's not allowed, and the locals understand the need, right, to protect the wildlife because it actually economically works better in their favor instead of accepting money from poachers. Economically, it makes more sense long term to allow visitors to come and to see the animals in their natural habitat. There was so much to love about Kenya, like the tribes. Do we really give tourists the best experience in Bermuda? Like taking like Gumbays to a hotel to perform. That's not Bermudian to me. Bermudian would be taking a group of tourists through the streets of Bermuda at night, following the Gumbays. That's a true Gumbay experience. That's, to me, what I would consider in Kenya, where you go to the tribes. The tribes are not coming to perform for you at hotels, but you can go into the tribes, into their spaces, and get the authentic experience. That's the advice I would give to the government. Make the Bermudian experience more authentic. Stop whitewashing it. Speak about Gibbet Island. Stop and show them Gibbet Island. I mean, many Bermudians don't even know about Gibbet Island. Make the experience authentic. Let's go back to the audience. What advice would you give the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? Shamari Sky says, if we can keep Bermuda safe, clean, and friendly, it will remain viable. The more I travel, the more I appreciate the safety, cleanliness, and friendliness that Bermuda offers. One of the most brilliant things about Kenya in particular was while we were driving through the countryside, we were driving 4 to 6 hours. Even the babies that looked like they couldn't even speak or walk yet, they would wave, and the children were waving to us throughout the country. They were just waving, and it was like, man, that reminds me of Bermuda when I was young. Like, we were just hospitable, we all spoke. Now people just mean mug, right? Like, culturally, we're not the same, and this is not a criticism. It's just we're not the same culture of people, right? But that was one of the coolest things. And when I see this comment, safe, clean, and friendly, comparatively speaking, are we still safe, clean, and friendly compared to what we were? We may still be safe, clean, and friendly compared to some destinations, but I mean, I don't see this getting better, if that makes sense. So I think we have to maintain the safety, cleanliness, and friendliness we're at level right now, or improve it. But I have not seen it get better over a period of time. I hope that makes sense. What advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? Tiffany Painter says, make the BTA a privately run business. Well, I think that was said in the throne speech. The Bermuda Tourism Authority was supposed to be privately run within 3 to 5 years. Something I have been speaking about for years, because all it's done is made certain people rich, right? I'd be fascinated to see if the government follows through on that, because this will require executives who have an entrepreneurial mindset. As far as I know, there are no executives in the BTA with an entrepreneurial mindset. I believe the CEO has a background in HR. And this is no shade. Let me be very clear. I'm not throwing shade. What I'm simply saying is that it requires entrepreneurs to take that and make it a successful privately run entity that can generate revenue on its own. Not saying that anyone there can't do it. I just don't know what their experience is in doing it. Hope that makes sense. LinkedIn user says, agreed with the red tape comment. Yes. What do people want when they travel? I think there are government bodies that feel they truly know what and who these travelers are, but in reality, they don't. Okay, fair. I agree with that. I agree with that, folks. I absolutely agree with that. Um, I would encourage us. I would encourage Bermudians to let me ask the audience. Audience, let me ask you real quickly. Tell me what your favorite destination was that you've traveled to, and why you would return. Let's do this. What's the of all the destinations you visited? What's your favorite destination you visited, and why would you return? Why would you return? What advice would you give the government regarding tourism growth? Farah Palacio says, morning, I am late to the party, but can we drop the country club vibes and stop calling us a luxury destination? We are expensive, not luxury. You know, Farah, I said this years ago. I've been like a broken record saying this. Expensive doesn't equate to luxury. We're aligned. It does not equate to luxury. And I think that we've been confused by that, not just from a tourism perspective, but spending a lot of money on a designer bag or something. It doesn't make it luxury. It just means that some of us are silly enough to spend money on something that somebody told you is worth something. But I agree. The whole country club thing, again, it's not authentic to all of us. You know, one of the things I actually respect about David Burt and many of the PLP administration, they don't wear Bermuda shorts. I actually have never seen David Burt in Bermuda shorts. I respect that. I did it when I was a Bermuda mascot wearing it when I worked with Bermuda Tourism. I think they're ridiculous. I think they look silly. I'm not that black Bermudian guy who's going to jump up and down and claim this is our culture. It's not. It's not. I'm sorry if that offends anybody. Well, I'm not. That's my opinion. But I think Bermuda shorts are not reflective of myself and many of my fellow Bermudians. I want authenticity. I'd rather wear Gumbe pants and a Gumbe hat than Bermuda shorts. Audience, let us know what destination have you visited? Like, what's your favorite destination you've traveled to? And why would you go back? What's your favorite destination you've traveled to, and why would you go back? Mark Arthur C. Phillips, the advice he said he'd give to to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda, he said, encourage service at all hotels and tourism-related businesses. Example, all hotels should have night room service. Okay. Like, you mean like 24/7, like what they call it? In-room dining? Is that what you mean, Mark? Farah Palacio said, I haven't traveled in so long, but when I did, I loved the art galleries and museums. I think we need to give more love to these spaces, plus national parks/gardens. Again, there are destinations that heavily rely on the arts, right? I'm going to use New York City. New York City is big on the arts. People think New York and they just, have different things they value about it, but the arts is simply Broadway, right? It's known for having different Broadway shows. There are numerous museums there. That's something that probably we don't consider because some people just go to New York to shop, right? But this is one of those pockets of spaces that can provide opportunities. But does Bermuda value art enough? Do we value museums? I know we have the, is it still called the Maritime Museum up Dockyard? What's it called? No, you know what I'm talking about though. We've got that. Yes, Mark Arthur C. Phillips was referring to 24/7 in-room dining. Suzanne Ingham says, Jamel, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. We still have freedom and want to keep it that way. What was that regarding? I'm sorry. What was that regarding, Suzanne? I'm sorry. Shika Reyna says, just got back from London, did several tours and was impressed with the knowledge of the guides about the country's history, even the sketchy stuff. Yeah, we want the real. We want the real stuff. One of my challenges was with having non-Bermudians, white non-Bermudians in particular. I remember Victoria Isley, the head of marketing at Bermuda Tourism. She sold what she was given. Like, she didn't understand our culture. No matter how much you try, she didn't get it. And when you did, you sold the stuff that you think that reflects Bermuda. Like, I don't think Bermuda ever sold a Bermuda that reflected me. You know, and that's the challenge. Now, we do have Bermudians in charge at Bermuda Tourism now, but we have to ask ourselves: are these people executives or politicians? Because politicians, their whole thing is to live to serve another day, meaning always look forward to the next election. Some executives in a space like Bermuda Tourism Authority, where they probably are not held to the same account as many of you in your private jobs, they're probably focused on living to, working to live another day and stay employed as long as possible, because they're getting salaries they probably would not get and titles they would not get in the private sector. And that's not good. That doesn't bode well for Bermuda, but Bermuda and Bermudians. What advice would you give to the government regarding tourism growth in Bermuda? And audience, thank you, Shika. What destination have you visited? Like, your favorite destination that you've been to, that you would go back to? Like, you have no, like, I know Shamari Sky said earlier that he, the more he travels, he appreciates the safety and cleanliness. Well, what other places have you traveled, Shamari, that you would go back to where, you might have enjoyed something? And, what makes it so special? I'd love to know from you all. Renee Simmons says Monaco, and I would return because they had casinos, Grand Prix race, the best restaurants, the yacht club, beaches, both naughty and not. Oh, that means they had nude beaches. Ooh, great museums of art, nightlife in the streets, and tours Italy. Okay, Monaco. Anyone been to Monaco? I hear it's quite expensive. Renee, you balling, huh, shorty? You balling. All right. Do your thing. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll bring Maya in for the Daily Hour News break. So stick with us. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with Maya for the Daily Hour News break after this commercial.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level. Wake up in the morning with enough coffee to keep you running throughout the entire day. Your pet at home deserves the best. Stock up on dog food to keep your puppy happy. Need a quick tasty lunch at home? Your chicken nuggets will be jumping right out of the freezer. What's a movie night without popcorn? You can never have too much. Lindo's Next Level. Why go anyplace else?
Unlock your business potential with BDC's General Microloan, offering up to $30,000 for Bermudian small and medium businesses. Whether it's for inventory, working capital, or equipment, we provide 100% guarantee on approved loans. Simple application, low interest rates, and fast processing. Apply today and make your business dream come true.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Novazok Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
Hey Daily Hour community, it's that time of year again. The Daily Hour's annual survey is live, and we want to hear from you. This is your chance to tell us what you love, what you'd like to see more of, and how we can make your viewing experience even better. It only takes a few minutes, and your feedback helps us shape our show for the year ahead. So don't wait, click the link, fill out the survey, and help us continue to improve our community one conversation.
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again for you all tuning in. Also, let me just remind you, give the link there for you. If you haven't already, please fill out the link survey. We're going to end the survey on Friday. We are giving about 10 things away, so 10 giveaways this year. So we appreciate your support. And as I stated yesterday, yesterday's guest, Brianna Ball-Roach, awesome with Beyond Inclusion. Your feedback is why she was on the show. Your feedback is imperative for our growth and to ensure that we are delivering the level of quality and kind of conversations that you all desire. So thank you. But hey, welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical Wells, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. Do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Let's bring Maya in for Daily Hour News Break. After that, we'll get back to the conversation because I did ask you, what are some of your favorite destinations you've been to and what would make you return? And also Instagram. Sorry, I'm going to get over to your comments because you have been responding as well. But let's bring Maya Palacio in for Daily Hour News Break.
Good morning.
Greetings, MP. How are you?
You know what? I'm feeling pretty okay this morning. How about you?
Well, you almost caused an accident this morning, MP.
What you mean?
Well, you know, MP. When you call and I see it, I'm going to answer. I'm thinking emergency. Your boy was on the treadmill this morning, MP. Hey. Anyway, sorry. Telling our business.
It was a low-key emergency, but yeah.
I was like, I saw it. I'm listening to my music. My music started. Look, I'm like, oh my goodness, is she okay? Yeah. You know, could have warned your boy. I don't know how, but you could have warned your boy. But you good?
All's well. Good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break, brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. Oh, before I start the news, actually, I want to answer your question about a place that I've been to that I would definitely go back. And it was Marseille.
Oh, in France.
Marseille, yes. But I tell you, like, I love Bermuda's water, but there's it just looked like it was like diamonds hitting the water. I don't know if it was like the elevation because of like you're walking right on the coastline there, and it's high up, and it's just the most magnificent view I've just ever seen. It's hot though. It was super hot. I'll give it that. Like,
what time of year?
What time of year were we there? July? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was the hottest place I've probably ever been to. Every single morning, it was like severe heat warning. I was like, okay, great. Like you're standing and sweating.
How far is it from France? I mean, Paris, sorry.
It was about an hour flight, I think. I think it would have been about 3 hours on the train.
Okay.
To get there.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was beautiful.
I heard you have really good wine there. Is that true?
Didn't really get to partake in anything there. We were doing a job.
Okay, they were working, folks. I almost got in trouble. All right.
But it was. You
would return there then?
I would definitely return there. I would go there now if someone booked it. Like, it was very beautiful.
She said if someone booked it. Anybody looking for a group trip? Yeah.
That is the place to go. I would say, because I'm also a big thrifter, you know that. And like, although I couldn't go to many of them, I was searching like thrift stores near me around the area that I was in. And there were tons and a lot of vintage ones too. And I was just like, I would have loved that. But yeah.
All right, Marseille, and I think the audience is still sharing a lot. So looking forward to getting back to that conversation after the news break, because Marseille, that's an interesting one. We're going to talk about that.
Indeed. All right. So good morning, everyone. As I said, this is your Daily Hour News brought to you by the great people at People's Pharmacy. Definitely something to be aware of and to take note of, because there's a potential spread of measles in Bermuda. So the Epidemiology and Surveillance Unit of the Ministry of Health is currently investigating 2 linked cases of rash and fever illness. And as both individuals had recent travel in an area where measles is circulating and are showing symptoms consistent with measles, they have been isolated while tests are underway to confirm the diagnosis. Now, government spokesperson said that given the potential spread of measles, which is highly contagious, this unit is proactively identifying and contacting close contacts of the suspects in the cases from inside the island. Now, although measles has not been confirmed in Bermuda since 1990, Bermuda is at risk for measles importation and the spread due to a recent measles, mumps, and rubella decrease in vaccination rates on the island. So Minister Kim Wilson emphasizes the importance of vigilance, saying that we are fortunate to have avoided measles in our community for a long time. However, with suspects cases on the island, we must remain vigilant to protect our community.
You know what this means? This means that folks are going to be arguing about vaccines again. Yep, that's what that means.
That's the potential risk of it, right? Well, meanwhile, the Minister of National Security, Michael Weeks, opened his statements on the throne speech, laying out the National Violence Reduction Strategy. Now, I said again on this show, we'll probably bringing out and rolling out each minister's key points a little bit, but definitely want to read the whole thing when you can. Well, one of his main targets that he included was about the youth of Bermuda and also about the reintroduction of counseling services. Here it is.
As part of our commitment to youth empowerment, I am proud to highlight the reinstitution of the Bermuda Youth Counseling Services under the Department for National Drug Control. Originally launched in 2002, this service will now offer targeted counseling and case management for young people aged 10 to 18 who are at risk of substance misuse and violence. Government also recognizes the profound emotional and psychological toll that violence takes on individuals and families. That is why we are expanding the community counseling program, which offers grief and trauma support to those impacted by violence. Now,
here's something that you should also know, just for reiteration, that the National Violence Reduction Strategy will put together early education and social skill programs to teach children how to resolve conflict non-violently, and then also vocational studies that should be given to high schools to create alternative career pathways for students who may not be inclined toward traditional academics, and the strategy with government to connect after-school programs with youth centers to create spaces for young people, and so on. And what you just heard there, that helps to do with mental health. But I want to take us back a little bit, just back a bit more. And I want you to look at this press release, read it if you can, but I'm just going to say some excerpts from it that says, quote, Mr. Speaker, prior to COVID-19, the Gang Violence Reduction Team coordinator and the Outreach and Prevention Manager led a multi-agency effort to violence reduction, and we're hard at work. The team operates from a coordinated plan to tackle gang violence and antisocial behavior through a series of strategically designed prevention, intervention, and rehabilitation programs and initiatives. I'm going to skip down a bit. The team was visiting the schools daily, providing incident manager support, mediation services, individual student support sessions, and group sessions. Through these ongoing interactions, the Gang Violence Reduction Team, along with other services, are able to help students realize their self-worth and see the many opportunities of self-improvement available to them. Mr. Speaker, this team's involvement in young people does not start at high school level. The Gang Resistance Education Training Program was rotating through all public schools from primary 6 to middle school year levels in collaboration with the Bermuda Police Service. Now, I want to ask you a question, Jamal. When do you think that was stated and by who?
No idea.
Okay.
Well, my facial reaction, Maya, is go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Just gonna close it up here with this relation. This is where it came from. The former Minister of National Security, Wayne Keynes, and this was back in 2020. 2020 that this statement was also given. Now, I say that just to reiterate the similarities in what was just said by our current minister versus our former minister when it comes to gang violence and reduction on the island. And curious because I've gotten a lot of messages coming to me, especially when I talked about bladed article weapons or Media Maya, about can we see some statistics coming or data coming from what they're doing and how it's reacting. Now, not saying it's exactly similar, because now it's bringing back counseling from 2002. I think that was probably the most newest figure that he came up with.
Well, that's why my face is this way, because I'm looking at the numbers that you just had up in that, and now I want us to get more confident and courageous in asking for data. And when I say data, I want to know not just how many men are in these programs, but how many of them, like, do we know how much money has been spent on each one? What have we helped prevent? Because as long as violence keeps happening, people are like, well, what are they doing? Is it something like other young men you're helping even at risk? Or is it literally just, well, we have these young men, so we're doing a job? Like, are we creating work just to say we're doing something to justify whatever it is that we're getting paid to do? You feel me? Like, it's like the BTA. I'll use them as an example because it's easy, but it's like the BTA. They do this fancy photo shoot with Bermudians and do this stuff with Bermudian artists. And everyone gets excited. Maya reports it, Sancha, and everybody's jumping up and down. Congratulations, I'm so happy for them. BTA's mandate is to bring tourists to Bermuda. So I feel like we ask for numbers and data and we get something, but it's not what we're looking for. I mean, we've got young men shooting at police, allegedly. I want to see some real data. I want to know more stories about what is actually being prevented. Who are we helping? What is the story here? Because I'm not seeing it.
Well, moving on to our other news that we have for you. The Premier, the Honourable David Burt, is actually out there in London right now as he's this week participating in the annual Overseas Territories Joint Ministerial Council meetings. Government spokesperson said that this yearly meeting hosted by the UK government brings together leaders of the overseas territories. The Joint Ministerial Council is the highest political forum between the UK government and elected governments of the overseas territories. It should be noted that the Minister here will also be attending the BDA Wealth Forum while in the UK with the Premier David Burt, and the Premier will also be engaging in meetings that focus on banking and financial services while in London. And on Wednesday, he said that I am very much looking forward to meeting and engaging with close to 70 young Bermudians at the London office reception. This is always a highlight for me each year, and I'm eager to update them on the process being made by their government back home and hear their views and feedback on how they can make contributions to making Bermuda fairer for all. So if you remember, Taj actually spoke here on the show about how the Premier does come down and how, it kind of is a little bit inaccessible for all of the young Bermudians out there in England to actually make it to London to see him. But he said 70 of them will be there.
I guess.
And closing out our sports this morning, as I mentioned yesterday about the PGA Tour, while our very own Simone Vaughn was actually able to get there on field and actually get to speak to some of Bermuda's athletes competing, so Kimiko Smith, and a bunch of attendees actually there at the event. Here's her story.
The 2024 Butterfield Bermuda Championship wrapped up this past weekend with Rafael Campos claiming victory. The three-day PGA Tour brought in many players, fans, and sponsors to the island. Bermuda's very own Kimiko Smith represented his home country playing in the event.
Yeah, I'm hoping I can inspire the next generation to come up. Hope we can get a bit more funding for this as well, just so the kids can have access to golf courses. It means a lot to represent Bermuda, carry the flag, and have you guys out here to watch us. It means a lot.
Port Royal Golf Course, where the tour was held, is ranked among the world's best public golf courses by Golf Digest. The sport itself brings many events and visitors to the island.
This is our 5th year. In the last 5 years, we've put over $12 million into the local economy, over $4 million into local charities. So, what we do here, we're very proud of it. It's very special.
While the players had to deal with less than perfect weather conditions, many of them remained optimistic.
Really just trying to have a good time, not blow away, and enjoy our time here in Bermuda.
All pars and birdies aside, events like this one bring major world exposure and support to Bermuda's economy. With each passing year, we can look to see more involvement from players and onlookers to the rising success of these games and subsequently in the success of Bermuda. This is Simone Vaughn with the Daily Hour.
All righty. That's what's up. I like seeing people like Kimiko doing well on that. I'm still hopeful for him. I think he's going to win it one day if it continues. I'm got my money on it.
That'll be something to see. I would definitely love that. He's doing so good in his journey, and obviously to bring it up the next generation too. I know that's a dream of his, so let's hope he reaches that goal. Well, closing out with our weather today, it's cloudy spells, a shower or two possible, as you probably saw in that video too. So it's still not looking like the best weather right now, heading into the more cooler seasons. And we have a high of 74 today, though. It's a little bit more than yesterday, but still bring a jacket.
All righty, cool. Days of the year. Today, I've got two that I really like, really like. It's International Men's Day. Now, fellas, y'all really get at me, man. In March, Women's Day and Women's Month, you'd be like, oh, when is men's and da-da-da-da-da. Bro, it's your day today. So I better see you all out there celebrating yourselves, celebrating the men in your lives. Like, let's do it. But in saying that, it's International Men's Day. I want to ask the audience, men and women, who's a man today that you just want to say thank you to? Give the brother some love. Who's a man that you just want to say thank you to? MP?
I feel like I might say it almost every day, but even though they're not here no more, my Uncle Mal and my best friend Shay, like I thank them all the time for just teaching me and showing me like good love that do come from man. Like, you know, the protective type love, the ones you don't have to search for or look for, and it's just there and it's easy and you just feel safe in their presence. So I thank them for teaching me that that's something out there.
Indeed. And I and there's something with what Maya just said that I really hope touches people. The impact that we have on others goes long beyond our existence.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that in mind. It's International Men's Day, audience. Let us know who is a man that you want to show some love today. David Michael Wilson says, my pop. Renee Simmons says, my dad. Kenton Trott says, a man that I want to say thank you to today is my daddy, Stanley Trott. Right, big up yourself. Farah Palacio says, I'm grateful for my partner. He is the greatest safe space I have ever known. Grateful. All right, I'll say my pops and my uncles. And I say that because they all, like, for most of my life have worked for themselves. Or their companies, right? They've that entrepreneurial spirit. I think being able to see them do for self has been something that has helped me understand what needs to be done. Like, you can never just, nothing's going to be given to you. You've got to put the work in. Mark Arthur C. Phillips says, my late father, Arthur Phillips. Yep. Okay, cool. Well, here's the second days of the year, folks. Here we go.
Okay.
It's Women's Entrepreneurship Day. Women's Entrepreneurship Day. So, who is a woman entrepreneur that you want to shout out to today? A woman entrepreneur you want to shout out to today?
That's a tough one. Okay. So many. All right. You know what? Okay. I'm gonna big up Sancho for sure. Big up Sancho and Mio on the team because I mean I shop at the businesses. I've really enjoyed being at the businesses. They made me feel so at home before I even knew who they were. So that really says a lot about their character and how they operate their business as well. But I definitely want to give a huge shout out to Carol, Karen, and Nadine of Nozar because their story has been really incredible, and to become like the largest pet store on the island, and how much grace that they've shown a lot of people who've come through their doors and just assistance and help with the community has really impacted my own entrepreneurial journey, being able to work there and seeing how they do business. So really big up to them.
All right. I would say all the ladies on the team, yourself included, everyone, Perry, Sancha, and Mia, doing a thing. It's not easy. I would also, my aunt and my mom did their thing. Like they were hustlers. So they, kind of had that role in my life, and kind of, again, like my uncles and my dad do for self. But I'm gonna give it to my business partner, Keitha, man. Keitha said to me back in October, bro, you need to take some time off. It's like, yeah, I'm trying. And she said this, I'm serious. I'm like, damn, her tone just changed in the text. But that they always say you don't go into business with friends or family. And trust me, I get it. I completely get it. But I always say you do when the people have what's needed to make a business work and have the mentality to make it work. But Keith is my homie, one of my best friends and business partner. her work ethic is unbelievable. Although she never answers my calls or texts when I, need her. I appreciate what she has done to make our business successful. So I'm gonna give her some props today, all day, every day. She gets it. Let's go to the audience, see what the audience says. Renee Simmons says, my cousin Renette Davis, a real trooper in Florida. Okay. Farah Palacio says, my boss, Liz, the owner of Eve's Garden, she had her adult store for over 25 years. Crazy, because in conservative Bermuda, having that kind of store 25 years ago must not have been easy, right?
Hey, that's quite a journey. Yeah, I'd like to know about that journey.
As a woman entrepreneur, I want to shout out is Maya, Medium Maya. You are an inspiration. Okay. Who else, audience? Who else? LinkedIn user says, shout out to my sister, Yinka D. Unique Nails for being consistent and obedient to her craft and journey. Yeah, all right.
Consistency, man.
All right. Well, you know what, audience? I want to get back to the question because I guess Maya's sticking around now. So we did ask earlier, what is a destination you've traveled to that you would go back to? And Maya said Marseille. Oh, Farah Palacio said Canopy Walk in Ghana was beautiful.
I told you yesterday she went to Ghana. Remember that?
Yeah.
I was like, because you were asking, this might have been off the show, but I was like, my sister went to Ghana and I would love to go to Ghana because Pharaoh, I still remember the chocolate that you brought home.
She was talking about the chocolate.
Eons ago. And I've never liked any other chocolate since. Like, it still haunts me, but in a good way. Because I'm just like, I need that chocolate.
Ruined it for her.
I was like,
C. Phillips asking, during my time at the BTA, who would you say was Bermuda's target market for tourism? I don't know.
Really?
All I remember is them saying households 150,000 plus. I don't know. And I think Sanchez says all the time, who are we targeting? I don't know. I honestly don't. My focus was on groups, incentive groups. And what an incentive group is I've explained on the show before. So say you work at a bank and you've got a sales team of 15 people and they want to take the top 10 salespeople on a incentive trip for exceeding their goals or something. And then I would sell them, well, choose Bermuda. And so that's what an incentive trip is. So I don't know. Shikarina says regarding government growth, do we need to reopen Bermuda tourism offices in the U.S. to attract group travel back to the island? So many Fortune 500 companies chose to stop taking groups overseas. I don't think we need offices. I think we live in a time where everything's so virtual. I don't necessarily think we need to have physical presence in certain places. I mean, I don't even think Bermuda needs a New York office anymore, if I'm honest. I just don't. What we do need is the right people in the right positions who have networking opportunities and networks, I should say, and relationships. That's what we need. We need the Hazel Clarks of the world.
That's what came to mind when you said that, people who have the connections already and the networking foundations to build on things here successfully.
And let me be very clear, Maya, because I want people to understand there's a difference between being popular and having relationships. I want to say it one more time. Let me say it louder. Let me turn my mic up. There is a difference between being popular and having relationships. Bermuda needs the right people in positions and those people who have the right relationships. Okay, turn it on now. No, I don't think we understand that the difference between popularity and relationships. Tiffany Painter said, Lake Atitlan, Guatemala, gorgeous views, fresh, delicious food, friendly people, and adventure tour. So again, the question we asked earlier, folks, is what's a destination you visited that you would return to and why? Suzanne Ingham says, I love Charlotte. My aunt was there. She passed. I'm sorry to hear that. She also said Zimbabwe, love the people. I'd love to go to Zimbabwe. That's on my list. Kenton Trott says, my favorite place to travel is New York City. The vibrancy, you can walk almost everywhere. Public transport is decent. The shows, the activities, the food, the shopping, a one-stop shop. We've got Shamari Sky says, I travel with a toddler now, so a place like Cayman is perfect. Tourists with small kids love Bermuda because it's safe for kids. I love places like Jamaica for bang for buck, but Cayman for peace of mind with a young kid. Okay. Sierra Lachey says, I loved Cape Town. It was just beautiful. Plenty of places to eat and hang out. I felt relatively safe, but my friend from there always wanted us to be on alert. That's literally what she just said. I would say word for word about my own Cape Town experience. The only thing I wouldn't say I didn't like about Cape Town is that it seemed like any European city. And you know me, I'm all about Black Africa. I have no interest in Europe. Nicole Walker says South Africa and Cancun for a great mixture of culture, adventure, and nightlife. Okay. Charlene Johnson says, what's this? Waiheke Island, New Zealand. Such a beautiful island. Very mountainous, beautiful sunsets, great wineries, zip lining, archery. You can relax or be active. Okay.
I like that.
All right. Here's what I'm looking for, why I asked that question, because I didn't tell anyone why I asked that question. I asked that question because of what Shamari Sky said about earlier about being safe and clean and the like. I'm looking for something unique. What's the most unique thing you experience somewhere that's going to drive you back there? I went to a thing that Syracuse University put on about 12 years ago. And I've shared this on this show before. And it was about cultural tourism. And the presenter put a picture of a beach up on the screen and asked everyone, where is this? You know, you all have heard me tell this story before. And people were guessing different places, Hawaii, Cayman, everywhere. And finally the lecturer said, that's the point. So many places have gorgeous views or delicious food or friendly people and beaches. But what makes it unique? What makes it unique from other destinations? What about the people? Like me just coming from Kenya, what made it unique? The Maasai tribe that's only found in East Africa, Tanzania, Uganda, Kenya, I believe. What made South Africa unique? The opportunity to visit what that island is that Nelson Mandela was imprisoned on and seeing his cell. That's what made it unique. That's what would make me want to go back and experience more of it, to learn more of the history of apartheid and how he fought it, how they came back. What I'm looking for in this conversation is what makes Bermuda unique that would make someone want to come back and visit. Everyone has friendly people at this point. Everybody got beaches. What's that uniqueness of it? Barcelona as well, says Nicole Walker. Amsterdam is also my favorite place. I like that there's always something to see or do. I've been 4 times and I feel like I could go again and see/eat something new. I was in there passing through Amsterdam. That's where I was connecting with my flight, Kenya. So that's, I'm mad I didn't stay because I would have loved to experience it, having been all the way over there. Let's see what else. I don't remember chocolate.
I'm gasped. I remember it like it was like the best day of my life. I remember it being in the fridge, and I remember taking small little pieces of it every single day so that I could savor it and so it wouldn't go to waste, because it's the best thing I've ever had in my life.
Okay. All right. We did ask women entrepreneurs. Let's give a few shout outs before we take our final break. And then we're going to come back because Maya's been giving you all the chance to win lately. So I want to see if she's going to give you the chance to win today as well.
I knew yesterday, so I was just late.
You came late, player. You came late. Nicole Walker says Vivian Millings, Leah Mills, Lynette Warner, Angel Burgess, Carla Zul, Ashley Simons, Jane, and Ellen Smith. So big up to them on Women's Entrepreneurship Day. Sierra Lachey says Jaleesa Hold It, Classic Kids, Tia Kipps, Inclusive Identity. Alrighty. What else we've got? We've got Michelle White says Joyce Chelsea Hayward. I had the privilege of spending quality time with her during our New York trip. I've spent a lot of time, or actually had some of these women on the show in the past, so I love to see it. And Nicole Walker said I had an amazing experience in Panama this summer. Took a class to learn how to cook national dishes. Visited the Ambara Indigenous tribe. All right. Panama's another place I visited where, seeing the Panama Canal, it's unique. Like I would want to go back, like, and experience that stuff. So again, when I think of travel, the whole purpose of that question is when it comes to Bermuda, where we asked this morning, what advice would you give the government to grow Bermuda tourism? What's unique about Bermuda? What do you think will have people coming back? It's got to be something. Or why? Let's figure that out with the government. Let's take our final break. We're going to come back, wrap it up, and see what Maya's got in store for us with an answer. I think she's got this. I've got faith in her. She's got this. All right, folks? 2 minutes 41 seconds. Stick with us. Oh, and if you haven't already, fill out the survey.
Right. Who was the first woman to become not just the first female opposition leader in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Hey, buddy. Hun, who was the first woman to serve as an opposition leader, not just in Bermuda, but throughout the entire British Commonwealth?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Mason, what did we say?
Dame Lewis Brown Evans.
Dame Lois Brown Evans. Where do you find that?
Mommy played Bermuda trivia.
Mommy played Bermuda trivia.
Oh, honey. I'm so proud of you. Good job.
It's true. Children are a reflection of their environment. Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Fun with a purpose. To educate, to entertain, to inform, to inspire, to learn, and to enjoy. Bermuda Trivia. All volumes now available at various stores throughout Bermuda. Visit bermudatrivia.com to learn more and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms.
Live exceptionally with HSBC MasterCard Pay with Rewards. Transform your points into what you love and get closer to winning an unforgettable trip to Dubai or one of 3 luxury experiences in Bermuda. To start following these steps, download the Pay and Rewards app from the App Store or Google Play. Register your HSBC MasterCard credit card in the app. Set your preferences to use points automatically or for your next purchase. Use your HSBC MasterCard for every purchase and redeem your points into rewards. In addition, for every $300 spent with your HSBC MasterCard, earn a chance to win an incredible monthly experience. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to all of you for tuning in. Again, help us out. Fill out the survey. You've got until Friday, but please do it today if you haven't already. If you haven't already also, please give us a like, a love, follow. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Make sure that we're getting those numbers up. But also, thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House Lenders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can have these conversations with you on a regular basis. It's time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, Maya, are you ready? It's a remember when. It's a bit of history.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Easy question. Yep, easy. Kenya was colonized by whom from 1920 to 1963?
1920 to 1960. I'm going to guess Britain.
She got it.
There you go. I was like, that seems like a more realistic answer.
I told you it was easy. All right. She got it.
Trust myself. See, if it was on a test, that's what I would have said. So.
Okay, she got it. I mean, it's pretty easy.
It's been like, I'm like, wow.
Only
because I was taught it. See, can't know something you don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot. I mean, that was it. They did a lot of colonizing. I
Yeah,
mean,
they did. They did.
I mean, either them, the French, when it comes to Africa, right?
I mean, who else could it be?
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect, but I'm just saying, reality is reality. Well,
History is history.
we were having a conversation. We've got some comments on Instagram we forgot to mention, huh?
Yes, yeah, we did. So we have from Toya BDA in relation to National Men's Day. She says, "Thank you to all the men who work for the Office of Youth Affairs. Thank you for all you do toward the development and empowerment of young people. We appreciate you." She also wants to give a shout out to myself, so thank you as well. Toya BDA. She says, "Toya wants to shout out Maya. She is amazing. We are proud of you. Thank you." And then when it comes to what can bring Bermudians back, Bermuda 15 said the Gombays will make people Taurus back, bringing Taurus back.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Gombays will make people back to Bermuda, said Bermuda 15. And they also want to shout out Keisha Burgess from Dutch Pops.
All right, cool. And I know we had another comment over there. 20 Pink Pearl said South Africa, because it's so much to see over there, and the culture is so rich with so much to learn about. Okay, yeah, I appreciate South Africa. Like I said, Cape Town seemed very European. Johannesburg seemed very New York, Brooklyn kind of city. All right, Maya, let's wrap it up because we've got to go. People have got to go to work. I don't want you making anybody late. You know how you are.
The way it's never me. This morning's show, again, I love the conversation that we have. Obviously, I think having the really in-depth thinking about how can we actually keep Taurus and who we are. It's a continuous conversation, I know, but it's such an important one because of what tourism and IB really bring to our island in terms of finances and financing Bermuda. So this is obviously one that always needs to be dug into and discussed. So trying to understand our why, like you said, and also kind of figuring out, well, what makes us unique and what separates us. I think it's something we all have to kind of contribute and think about. So yeah.
I agree. I think, like you said, we can have these conversations on a regular basis. The truth is, I agree with the audience that Bermuda still is a viable tourist destination. As I said earlier, we just need to figure out our why. What is our why? Once we figure out our why, we target the people who fit that. Again, relationships. We need the right people in relationships. I think the Bermuda Tourism Authority has a gem in someone like Hazel Clark, who has relationships. She, if nothing else, the one thing Bermudians can say over the last few years is that sports tourism has worked, right? Shiko, as someone said earlier, something about group business. I mean, sports tourism is group business, but it's a different type of sports tourism. I always believed that sports tourism had opportunities, not in the respect where we can host big bowl games or things out of our scope because of size and stadiums, but on a smaller scale, maybe like the track events that have come, the golf championship. These things can help. So if we can get a few more Hazel Clarks in spaces where people have connections, and again, this may upset some people, but the truth is, I had a plan where we could have trained Bermudians, let them shadow some people in this space so that they can develop relationships. Bermudians don't have relationships. We need Bermudians with relationships. The best way to do that is bring people who do and have Bermudians shadow them. Where are we at with that? What we have right now is a cycle of failure, a cycle of, you know what? We cannot win because we don't have the hotel, right? And in fairness to the BTA, they don't have the large hotel. Right. So what we do, let's find other ways to keep people speaking positively. So we're going to get Maya and Sancha and Perry and Mia and Jamel to really show love to the artists. And then when we show love to the artists, we got distracted a bit because we're not realizing that that's not what their job is. Their job is to get heads in beds and drive people to Bermuda. Do not be distracted by what people are doing to make you like them. Focus on holding them accountable for what they're being paid for out of your tax-paying dollars. All right. I've got a daily inspiration, Maya.
All right. Let's hear it.
I like this one. Quote, "He who is not courageous enough to take risk will accomplish nothing in life." End quote. and that is Muhammad Ali.
Hey, float like a butterfly.
Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Fill out the survey if you have not already, please. You've got pretty much 2 more days. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we can do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Mel Palacio. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.